Peace, peace, peace. Rising, rising, rising. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Peace, peace, peace. Rising, rising, rising. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Peace to all the gods and goddesses of planet Kai. We jump straight into it today. You feel me? As you can see by the title and the thumbnail, we got a video. You know what I'm saying? This was supposed to come out 3 days ago. You feel me? But we got a delay. It's cool though. You know what I'm saying? We with it with y'all today with it. We with it with y'all today with it. So we're turning the chats off early because we going straight into it. This was a late live, so again, we're going straight into it because this was a late live. We got the computer here with us today to give y'all a visual reference of these esoteric facts that I'm finna decode to y'all hidden in plain sight. Okay, so before we jump into this, let me go ahead and send a peace. Let me go ahead and send my deepest of insight, my deepest of peace, my deepest of cosmic love to my elders. You know what I'm saying? I want to send my peace, my deepest of insight, my deepest of cosmic love to my middle age group. I want to send my deepest peace, my deepest insight, my deepest cosmic love to my elders, my peers, that means 21 and younger. Peace to all those generations as we are one. Peace to all the gods and goddesses of planet Kai. With peace meaning positive energy always creates elevation. Peace to all the high vibrational human beings within the channel, with the planet. Feel me? We finna roll right into it. So basically, right, in science, you know, in they man-made years of school, right, they taught us science to such a short extent. You feel me? They taught us science to such a short extent in their school programs. But what they failed to teach us was the actual facts about our planet. What they failed to teach us was the actual geology. What they failed to have taught us was the actual geological structures of the planet. So, you know, through these program years of school, we only learn science to such a short extent, you know. And like I said, when it came to your planet, they have lied to you about that, and they have told you so many things that doesn't even make sense, but they have told you in a way where you don't even tend to question it. So it left us with it left us with losing the insight of our planet. It left us with not remembering how our planet used to be, used to look, etc. But today we're gonna be diving a little deeper within, as you see from the title, we're gonna be diving a little deeper within the Atlantis geological structure. You feel me? But you gotta understand, what they tell you is this planet that you live on, which is these 7 continents surrounded by water, right? These 7. Okay, hold on. Let me pull it up here. Yeah, we got the laptop for us too, so we're gonna be using a lot today. Feel me? So they got what they tell us is these 7 continents, which makes up the Earth that we are on. These 7 continents surrounded by water, right? Is this main world Earth, right? So this is what they tell us is what we live on. This is, you know what I'm saying? This is what it is right here. This is what they teach us. This is what they tell us, right? So we understand that these 7 continents right here, right, are originally connected as one whole landmass. This is not across the ocean. This is actually right here, and both of these are actually connected right here. and this is all connected right here. All that makes up Atlantis. This is Atlantis. This realm is Atlantis that we are on, but it is not separated by no water, right? We are. This is one landmass, and this water will represent the ice wall, actually, right? Because we never had bodies of ocean, as we understand. If you've been watching the channel recently, we understand what ocean is now. So we never had bodies of ocean. We only have streams and lakes. Excuse me, not streams, lake. We only had streams and rivers. Um, my bad, yeah, I had answered the phone. I had a phone call I had to answer. Uh, damn, hold on, y'all. Shit. All right, back to it. So these 7 continents right here, right? What they tell us are 7 continents, which makes up Earth, right? Which is a globe that we're on, spinning in the atmosphere around the sun, right? Which is false. We know it's false if you've been watching the channel. Okay, so now, like we just said, these land masses are connected. This makes up Atlantis. It's one landmass, right? One whole landmass, right? And then you have an ice wall around you with other, because we are the center of this realm, right? Understand that we are the center of this realm, all right? So that's why we are on this landmass in the middle. But even the landmasses around the ice wall. Okay, now let's see if we can pull that map up for y'all. Hold on. Let's see if we can pull that up for y'all. Cause it's a map. It's another map, y'all. It's another map too. That I want y'all to see. To give y'all a reference when I'm talking about how your RAM looks. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if they're gonna let us see one. But y'all know they control all this, so they're gonna play with it. Trying to find a good one for y'all. Let's see. Okay, here we go. We got it for y'all. Boom. Alright. This is how your realm looks, right? We are here. Let me try to find a better one for y'all, because can you pull that up closer or something? Okay, so this is how your realm looks. Don't mind this, and this and that. Don't mind that, right? And don't mind the fact that it's not as many land masses. You feel me? Of course, they're gonna play with the pictures, right? Matter of fact, no, I don't even want to use this one. I don't even want to use this one. Let's just try to find a better one. I feel like it's a better one out there somewhere. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Okay, so this is how your realm actually looks, right? But when they tell you it's in an oval, that's the actual shape. You see? But this is how your realm actually looks. You are centered off by, well, 3 ice walls. See? But this is where we sit originally, and all this in this whole landmass is one connected. All this makes up Atlantis, right? This is one realm. This is the whole realm. This is the whole realm is Atlantis. All these landmasses, right, makes Atlantis. But they're all connected. So, Pete, to understand that, right, we had to understand that to further understand why we finna get into what we finna get into today. Feel me? So I had to show y'all that, right? Now, in school, they taught us that, you know what I'm saying? They told us lies about the shape of our planet, how our planet is structured, the structures of our planet, how our planet works, or our realm, rather say. Now that we know, they lied to us about our realm completely, and they actually not only lied to us about our realm, they actually told us their version of our realm. So this is what completely threw us off. You feel me? I gotta drink this water. This is what completely threw us off, right? So we gotta understand that they lied to us on such deep levels about our realm because they have did such deep things about our realm. You know what I'm saying? When you trying to, I also want to give a gratitude to the God Divine Insight, because one of his quotes stated, one very real quote, very authentic quote, genuine quote. It'll go over a lot of people's head, but he stated, when you're trying to bury a giant, you're gonna have a huge hole to dig. You're gonna have a big hole to dig, and this is why the rabbit hole goes so deep, right? When you're trying to bury giants, you're gonna have a big grave to dig. You're gonna have the big ass hole to dig. You feel me? But it's like you're trying to hide greatness, trying to bury greatness. Feel me? Because they have did so many terrible things to our realm, right? Specifically, what we're topping at today is what we're decoding today is these ancient trees that we had, right? A lot of us are aware of them. You know, a lot of us are aware of them due to the great awakenings that we've been going through within the planet, due to the celestial gateways we've been going through as a planet, as a whole, as a realm. You feel me? A lot of us has been waking up collectively. So a lot of us is aware with certain geological structures of our planet. You feel me? So a lot of us is aware already. But it's a lot of us who are not aware, and then it's a lot of us who are aware, but you know what I'm saying, they don't know still too much, right? Or they can't seem to go deeper. But today we're going deeper with y'all, for y'all, on these ancient trees. You feel me? On these ancient trees we had, because now you're around today, Atlantis is no longer a forest, right? And this is what hurt us the most, right? Because once we get to see this, once we get to see that our realm is no longer a forest as it used to be, because they have cut all of our trees, right? Now, what do I mean they have cut all of our trees and you can walk outside and see 1 billion trees today? Well, no. Anciently, that is not original. You see? Let me put it like this. Because your realm has been invaded by parasitic invaders, right? And they have hijacked your planet of its resources, right? They have cut your planet of its resources, right? Which puts the original beings of this planet through a metamorphosis, which means they had to adapt to a whole new environment, right? Because of this great invasion of grand evil to this realm, right? Which caused these beings to fall in frequency. Because of these things that these parasitic invaders had came here and did. You feel me? So, you gotta understand. Okay. Well, to say that, like, this all leads back up. This all has something to do with why you don't. This all has something to do with why we don't know about our ancient trees now, basically. You feel me? We're gonna decode it for y'all though. Cause you know it be only so much talking that you feel me? Like, okay, so again, they have lied to us about this planet on this realm on a so much deeper level, right? So when it comes to talking about these ancient trees that we had, right? And how this planet is not a forest as it used to be anymore. And these trees we see now are not really our trees. They are our trees now because we had went through that metamorphs. Feel me? A part of adapting to a new environment. We fell in frequency, which means we fell in size. We fell in you know what I'm saying. I don't want to say we fell in science because you can't, you know what I'm saying, but we definitely fell in size for sure. But it plays a part with science because of the science that we genetically adapted toward the planet on a geological level. Feel me? So they don't you know what I'm saying. A lot of us don't even know how ancient trees used to look because they don't even show us, right? But the most they'll show us is the residue of these trees because they're still here. The trees that they cut down are still here. Okay, why isn't your realm a forest anymore? Because originally you had trees that were so huge, right? Originally you had trees that were so huge, right? And in the eyes of your beings that came through these Caucasus Mountain portals, right, which would be your Caucasians, in their eyes, they describe it as trees breaking the atmosphere. Trees so big they're breaking the atmosphere. They're going above the atmosphere. They don't even, so there is no way that, okay, so there is no way that these trees can be this big and there can be a such thing as oxygen, right? You have to see how they're even able to use oxygen to hold on y'all, what's the word? Because they got a word for this shit. You got to see how they even able to asphyxiate us because that's what they're doing.
Asphyxiate.
You heard it. Google. Verbatim. So, one more time for y'all.
Asphyxiate.
You got to understand how they're asphyxiating us, or how they're using their oxygen, their man-made oxygen chemical to
asphyxiate
us. You feel me? So you got to understand this. You got to see how they're able to even do this. They're able to do this because we have no trees. They're able to do this because they have cut down all of our ancient trees, right? Our ancient trees were so big that this planet didn't. There was no way oxygen could exist here. So if oxygen didn't exist here, what were we breathing? What were we intaking, right? Well, let me introduce you to hydrogen. A lot of us are familiar about this, right? Hydrogen H on a periodic chart. You feel me? Now peep this. Peep how oxygen. Peep how the atomic number is 1, right? Okay. Now I want y'all to peep something else. Don't mind all that, cause you know what I'm saying. They're gonna twist that up in life. And you know what I'm saying. They make it look like this to make you run from it. You feel me? You see all this, you ain't gonna want to look. You feel me? That's why they purposely do that. But hold on, I want to specifically point something out to y'all. You feel me? Look at it. Purple glow in hydrogen plasma state. Now, if you subscribe to the channel, you've been watching the channel, you should know what plasma energy is right now. You should know what deals with plasma energy as, or you should know how plasma energy has an effect on us as the gods and goddesses of Planet Kai. Planet Kai being this realm, this planet that consists of 9 realms, with your realm being the 5th realm of this planet called Atlantis, right? Atlantis Atlantis was a forest, right? Atlantis was a magical forest. This is true, right? They'll say magical just to put an initiate title on it, right? To deprive it from a whole nother meaning that it's not truly its origin. So they'll tell us that, okay, well, they won't tell us shit. They'll put it in the cartoon. They'll put it in the cartoon and be like, you know what? They'll put it in a cartoon where some cartoons back then, and if you go and look back, like around early 2000s, like the 90s, right? They had cartoons where they would show you these magical forces. They would show you how the nature was alive. They show you how the planets dance. They show you how the trees dance in frequency and harmony. You know what I'm saying? This was a real thing. They actually show you in the movie Avatar. That is a real thing. All that is real. But what they lie to you about, even with the movie Avatar, they show you that Yell was a big tree. They show you how they attacked your realm. In the Avatar, that was a documentary, right? The Avatar was a documentary on how they invaded our realm. The Avatar was a documentary on how the Great Invasion took place. Because again, they turned on us after being unified with us for a little minute after we re-engineered them. So we helped y'all, human beings. If anything, we helped y'all. Cause Satan, right, which is what y'all caught him down on this realm. Satan, what you know him by as, right? He left y'all to be fucked up. But who is Satan? Zeus. So his cosmic name, real cosmic name, Zeus, right? So Zeus left y'all to be in that state. Y'all, okay, so basically if y'all didn't even come to our realm, right? Y'all would have never even left that state y'all were in. We actually the literal reason why y'all can stand up straight now today's day. Arm, nose, 2 eyes, mouth. You feel me? Fingers, 5 toes, feet. Y'all can grow ether, but y'all don't grow 9 ether. Y'all grow 6 ether, but y'all can still grow ether. Why? Because Zeus created y'all. He tried to create y'all, or he tried to duplicate. He tried to make y'all duplicates of us, but he couldn't genetically, because that's not something that he could do. Because that's something that was given to us by the divine feminine. You feel me? So he couldn't do that. So when these human beings came to this realm of Atlantis, they were all fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Long story short, you know what I'm saying? Not to sugarcoat it, you know what I'm saying? But they were all messed up. And we actually re-engineered them, you know what I'm saying? This is why they actually can stand up straight now today's day and walk amongst us. This is why y'all not on all fours anymore. This is why a lot of y'all don't even grow tails anymore. This is why a lot of y'all is not covered in fur anymore. Right? But it's still a lot of y'all there are. In y'all natural ways, But that's something that y'all shouldn't be mad about, Embrace it. That's how you were created, embrace it. Embrace how you were created. As I embrace how I was created, through the divine feminine source, feel me? Pure dark matter energy. See what I'm saying? But stay focused. Hydrogen, right? So if we didn't breathe oxygen, right, and even in the movie Avatar they showed, okay, well the tree is they got a tree that's on there big. They show you how the Great Invasion took place, how it broke out, right? And then they show you that yes, a giant tree that fell, but they don't show you how many giant trees it actually was, though. They don't show you how giant those trees actually was, though. You feel me? They don't show you how giant those trees actually was. You see? Trees so huge you couldn't even put it in a terminology. Trees so huge you couldn't even fathom it without an open pineal gland. You feel me? But we gonna fathom it today though. We gonna get y'all to see today though. We gonna decalcify that pineal gland for y'all today though, for y'all to see and not just look. You see? Okay. Now, hydrogen. Because these ancient trees actually we had were to these human beings breaking the atmosphere, right? Which we know there is no such thing. Well, before they landed here, okay, to break that science down for y'all right quick. What they call the atmosphere is not it really an atmosphere. It's more so like a density. It's like a specific type of matter. You feel me? It's like, but we gonna expand upon that in a different video, but just to get y'all familiar. You feel me? So what they say is this atmosphere is just a different density. It's just a different matter. You feel what I'm saying? So, which in other words they put in the atmosphere, but this density they try to get you, they make you disconnect from it because they tell you that it's the atmosphere instead of telling you, oh, this same density or the same matter that is above your realm is the same matter that's connected to you, and you can amplify your energy with that matter and connect as one with that matter, right? Then you can move amongst the other realms of this planet, or you can move amongst other dimensions of this realm. You see? They don't tell you that though. But to stay focused, because our trees anciently were growing so high because they were receiving so much celestial energy. This is why we were so huge. I said this in so many videos already, but this is why we were so huge. In order for us to be so huge, we had to be receiving a certain amount of celestial energy. Just like you want more water in the water bottle, you're gonna need a bigger jug. You feel me? We required this size because this is as much celestial energy we was receiving. So we had these trees, right, our ancient trees, and they were growing so high, they were growing so tall, they were like thousands of feet tall, you know what I'm saying? They was entering that density within, you know what I'm saying, what they call the atmosphere. So therefore oxygen didn't exist. And if oxygen didn't exist, what could we have been manufacturing off of as a function of air or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Well, that's where hydrogen come in place. How was we able to breathe hydrogen, or how do we naturally breathe hydrogen? We're gonna break that down for y'all today. But originally we didn't breathe oxygen. We originally broke hydrogen, right? We initially took in hydrogen. We didn't breathe oxygen. Oxygen was not a real thing. They put oxygen into our element of air. You feel me? To let's go back to it. They put oxygen into our element of air to
asphyxiate. Asphyxiate.
us. So they put oxygen into our air to asphyxiate us, right? But originally we didn't breathe oxygen. We broke hydrogen. This is why we were colored people. This is what they get the colored people from. Because when you are breathing hydrogen and you are not breathing oxygen, when you are breathing hydrogen, you get this luminous blue to you, you get this luminous purple to you, you get this luminous green to you, this yellowish green to you, this bluish green to you, you know what I'm saying? This, you know what I'm saying, all type of beautiful colors, you know what I'm saying, all the colors of the rainbow babies, the starbow baby, the starseed babies, you feel me? This is what that originates from, because we naturally breathed in with hydrogen, right? This is why we were even colors. This is why, because when you are breathing in hydrogen, you are going to go back to that natural green pigmentation, that natural beautiful purple, violet, that natural, you know what I'm saying, all those beautiful pigmentations. Now, because they have took oxygen, because they have took the hydrogen out of your ethers, right? Because they have took the oxygen out of your ethers around you, and they have now in place oxygen with it, right? So they have displaced your hydrogen with oxygen, right? And because they have did that, it caused you to not even be these colors no more. So now what color are you? It caused you to be a copper color. It caused you to go to a bronze color, right? what they call black or Latino people. This is why the black or Latino. This is why your black and Latino people are gods and goddesses, right? It causes you to fall into this state where your carbon manifests as neuromelanin, right? Because your human beings that have DNA, they have melanin, right? And your gods and goddesses that have DEA, they have neuromelanin, right? Because neuromelanin cases the carbon. You see? To even be at a state like that, you know what I'm saying? They had to be, to even hit a state to be going through that, you gotta realize they had to be doing this to you.
Asphyxiate.
You feel me? What is asphyxiate? Okay, hold on. Yeah, let's break it down. What is asphyxiate? For those of you who don't know. Asphyxiate. Kill someone by depriving them of air. They were asphyxiated by the carbon monoxide fumes. Loathed our hometown for its. But you see how they play with the words, y'all? Hold on. Cut to the short though. Died by being deprived of air. They slowly asphyxiate. So what is asphyxiate? Die by being deprived of air, right? And they're not just saying die just to say die as in a sarcasm. You feel me? So this is how they're able to do this. So this is how their oxygen kills us off. And their oxygen plays a major part within the time spell they have placed them on this planet too, which plays a major part within the Gregorian calendar. But we already did a whole video about that. So stay focused. We naturally into hydrogen, right? And because we took in hydrogen, we were these beautiful colors. You know, we were these beautiful luminous beings, right? But when they started in placing, when they cut down our trees, right? When they cut down the ancient trees, they then put oxygen into our air, right? Oh, we never got to how we were able to breathe hydrogen. How are we able to breathe hydrogen? How do we breathe hydrogen? Okay, I'm finna show you how we breathe hydrogen. I'm finna show you how they tell you how you naturally breathe oxygen. Okay. Now, hydrogen. What is hydrogen? Hydrogen is a chemical element. It has the symbol H and atomic number 1. Why does it have the atomic number 1? Because oxygen was the first thing created on this realm. It is the lightest and most abundant chemical element in the universe, constituting about 75% of all normal matter. Under standard conditions, hydrogen is a gas of diatomic molecules with the formula H2 called dihydrogen, or sometimes hydrogen gas molecules, hydrogen or simply hydrogen. Dihydrogen is colorless, odorless, non-toxic, and highly consumable. Stars, including the sun, mainly consist of hydrogen and plasma states. Don't let these words go off your head. So, again, let's go back. Let's rewind it. Let's rewind it. Under standard conditions, hydrogen is a gas of diatomic molecules with the formula H2 called dihydrogen, or sometimes hydrogen gas. Molecule hydrogen, or simply hydrogen, dihydrogen, is colorless, odorless, non-toxic, and highly consumable. Colorless, odorless, non-toxic, and highly consumable. Dihydrogen is, right? Stars, including the sun, mainly consist of hydrogen in a plasma state, while on Earth, hydrogen is found at the gas H2. Okay, y'all, I ain't gonna lie. Y'all. We gonna laugh the tears away. But they is real life telling y'all. In other words, they are telling you right there. They're telling you oxygen is not a normal thing. It was originally hydrogen. This is what they're telling you right there. Right? So let's break this shit down. Hold on. Let's break this down. Hold on, let's break this down. No, because we're not just gonna skip over all this. Okay. Let's go back to it. We just broke down hydrogen. What they say is hydrogen is okay, so the lightest and most abundant chemical, right? That is truth, right? Hydrogen is so light, okay. That is truth. Hydrogen is light, like this is how we were able to breathe it. Hydrogen is so light that if we were to go back to breathing hydrogen right now, today's day, a lot of us will go into panic mode because hydrogen is so light you wouldn't feel it. Okay, so what do I mean? For example, you see how you can hear that? You see how you feel that? Take a breath in right now. Take a deep breath in right now for whoever watching. Just breathe in, like you see how you feel that air coming in? You see how you feel that air going out? You see how you feel that? Hydrogen, you don't feel that. Hydrogen is not that heavy. Hydrogen don't got density to it. Hydrogen doesn't have heavy density to it. It's light density because it's high vibrational. Hydrogen is light because it is high vibrational. It's a high vibrational base matter. Right? We breathe it in. If we was to breathe it in today's day, a lot of us would go into panic mode because we wouldn't feel it. A lot of us would think, am I even breathing? You feel me? We're going to panic mode because you wouldn't even think you're breathing. You feel me? Because of how light hydrogen is. This is why they say it is atomic number 1. It is the lightest and most abundant chemical element in the universe. Why? Because it is high frequency. It is a high frequency matter. It is a cosmic thing. It is a celestial energy. You feel me? How is it? Okay, and with it being a celestial energy, with it being a high vibration thing, right? This is why they use the sun, right, as a reference and say, look. This is why they use the sun as a reference, right? Or they don't even use it as a reference. They tell you that dehydrogen is colorless, odorless, non-toxic, and highly consumable. Stars, including the sun, mainly consist of hydrogen in a plasma state, right? So they're telling you, hold on. And if you've been watching the channel, you subscribe, right? We all know what this is right here. We all know what these are, right? We all know that these are not stars. We all know there's no such thing as stars, and there's no such thing as constellations, right? But there are such things as other galaxies and other planets, right? And other universes. Okay, now the sun. I don't know what happened there, but okay, now the sun. Where we at with it? Hold on. What was that? Okay. Whoa, yeah, that was weird. Y'all caught that? That was weird. Yeah, ain't gonna lie. Hold on. Threw me off a little bit, y'all. Hold on. So we know what these are, right? These are other galaxies and other planets, right? But the sun, right? They said the sun mainly consists of hydrogen in a plasma state. Now we already know what plasma is to the gods and goddesses of the planet, right? We know that plasma is the highest matter. With it being 4 phases of matter, you're from your lowest: solids, liquid, gas, plasma, right? So plasma being your highest state of matter, this is where we originated at, and we descended from your plasma down to your gas, down to your liquids, down to your solids, right? Which we are here now in today's day. But you have family and you have ethereal bodies on each ram and each density. So, right? Plasma is directly connected to you because you are plasma energy. Plasma energy is you, right? Plasma energy is you because you are an electrical being. With you having carbon in your skin, with you being neuromelanated, you are a electrical being, right? This is what Dr. Sebi was telling you, right? You are an electrical being because you are in a God. You are a God, right? You are electricity at spirit. This is why the house of the spirit is blood, right? Because blood plays a major part within your plasma energy, right? And your ancestors send messages through your blood too. For the ones out there who know. You feel me? But plasma is you, right? So this is how we're able to even take in energy from the sun. Full photon energy is plasma energy. You feel me? That is what comes directly through our receivers, our antennas that we know of and been lied to and been told that is our hair, and it is nothing more than just our hair, right? Which is actually our ether, non-ether to be exact. You feel me? Um, this plasma is we know that's us, right? That's us base. So when they're saying that including the sun, mainly consists of hydrogen in a plasma state, we already know that, okay, well, yeah, of course, right? The sun consists in a plasma state because the sun emits out full photon energy. The sun emits out the sun emits out full, the sun is plasma energy. You feel me? The sun is part of plasma energy. So, of course, we know this. This is where they try to confuse you at. This is where they confuse you at. People, how they try to throw you off, right? Okay, people, how they try to throw you off, family. Okay, so hold on. All right, because it was some other things on here I seen too. Okay, so look. All right, hold on. I want to show y'all something right quick. Okay. Now, I just brought down to y'all, right? We are dark matter energy beings. Because we are dark matter energy beings manifested in the physical manifestation, right? Which means your material plane, right? We are electrical. We are full electrical and magnetism at its finest, at its purest, at its core, at its raw essence. You feel me? So when they saying this, okay, so dark matter energy, we know dark matter energy is what color would they say that it is, the label it is? That's the real black. You feel me? That's what we are at core. Okay, so they say right here, from ancient Greek, right? Romanized, Hadur, water, and Yevia. I don't even know how to pronounce that one, but we're gonna skip right over that because we obviously know that's just another title. I bring forth understanding the colors of light absorbed and emitted by hydrogen. What he saying? I bring forth understanding the colors of light absorbed and emitted by hydrogen was a crucial part of the development of quantum mechanics. Okay, now what are they saying right there? Right there, they're basically saying, okay, like, because this hydrogen vibrates so high, because this hydrogen is such a high frequency thing, it deals with quantum. Because it is a high frequency thing, and what they try to say is why it's light and it's so abundant, right? Because it's a high frequency thing, and when we breathe it in, it don't have a heavy density. This is why it deals with quantum mechanics, because it's smaller molecules, right? Because it's directly attached with the atoms, right? So this is why it deals with quantum mechanics, because you can tap into that hydrogen around you naturally. When we were breathing hydrogen, you can tap into that hydrogen around you, right? And you can do certain things within your ethers. This is what your Egyptian tribe was doing, right? Because they were on the 13th dimension within the planet, so they were able to tap into it. They were able to do all this. This is why they were those pigmentations. This is why they were still in those pigmentations, because around those times they were still breathing hydrogen, right? So let me tell you right here. Let me break this down for y'all too, right? Because they'll lie to y'all too, right? They wanna show y'all this too, right? hydrogen was first. Hold on. Hydrogen gas was first produced artificially in the 17th century by the reaction of acids with metals, right? Now, if I just sit here and said, hydrogen is okay. Now, you know what? We're gonna come back to that, y'all. We're gonna come back to that, right? But just to get an understanding of how we didn't breathe oxygen, right, and how we breathed and how we intook and how we breathe hydrogen and not oxygen, just to get an understanding of that, right? I just wanted to show y'all a reference, right? Now, plasma energy. What color does plasma energy appear as? Or rather say, what color do they make electricity appear as? Blue, right? So, of course, hydrogen is going to be blue and violet, right? As we know, this color right here, high vibrational color, super high vibrational color, right? So why is it high vibrational in the middle, blue, right? They're telling you right there the cosmic genetic link. They're telling you that your DEA is a cosmic genetic that links you still to the cosmos right here on this very material plane. But they have took that from you by cutting the ancient trees on this planet, on this realm. And when they cut those ancient trees, they were able to place oxygen into your density, into your matter, right? Now, in their schools or programs, or in their programs of school, they have taught us in such basic science about our geology structures of the planet. You feel me? So we know very much of how our planet was, is, and works, right? So I want to point out a specific thing that they lied to us about, right? And I want to point out a specific thing that was hidden in plain sight this whole time, right? Because a lot of us know, okay, yeah, a lot of us are, like I said, a lot of us are familiar with the ancient trees. You know, a lot of us have seen the pictures, you know what I'm saying, of these tree stumps and all that, right? But let me show y'all let me show y'all what it really is, you feel me? Let me show y'all what was really going on with this, with these mountains, right? Let me flip the camera. Because through school, they have taught us such a basic science, right? So they have lied to us about the geology structures of these right here. They lied to us about the geology structures of the mountains, the plateaus, the mesas, you feel me? The in the other landscapes within Arizona and the other landscapes within throughout the whole realm of Atlantis. You feel me? So they have, like I said, they have lied to us about these right here. You feel me? They lied to us about these mountains, or what they call mountains, right? But a lot of us will see these right here and be like, oh, well, you feel me? These are tree stumps right here. You feel me? Those tree stumps right there that he talking about. Those must be the tree stumps right there that he talking about. You feel me? They kind of look like tree stumps, but in some way they kind of don't, right? But this is how they trick your mind, right? This is how they trick your mind. This is the imagery. This is how they play with your mind through the imagery. Now we're gonna break this down. We're gonna break what these mountains really are down, right? Because they are, you know what I'm saying? All of your mountains are not just tree stumps, right? As you see, all of your mountains are not just tree stumps, right? Okay, so now what are your mountains? Because they have lied to us, I'm gonna tell you your real cosmic ancient facts about your realm right here. So if you are not open-minded, okay, this is my disclaimer before we get deep right here, because we're finna get deep now. So this is my disclaimer. If you're not open-minded, please just leave the live now. Don't comment it talking about this and that, trying to challenge my intellect. Just leave the live, right? You don't have to be here. You don't have to hear this intellect. You don't have to hear this. So just leave if you don't. You feel me? But stay focused. These right here that they have lied to you about, right? They have told you are mountains, which is not mountains, right? So what are these? So okay. Keep these in mind. Keep these pictures in your head, right? Keep these pictures in your head. Keep this in your head, right? Keep these pictures in your head, right? Keep those in your head. Okay. Now, what are these? Because these are all not tree stumps, right? Your ancient trees were so big. We talking about like your ancient trees were so big where they would go up, your branches were past that. Like you couldn't, you see that dark blue? Like your branches were up there. Like you wouldn't even see your branches from, like if us now, we still had a tree now and we were the size we were right here, right now, we wouldn't even see our branches. You feel me? These how big our tree was, but we were also big enough at that times to see the branches. You feel me? So now, yeah, don't mind the dog. Yeah, we got the dog in here with us. He just wanted to get out the cage. The vibration getting high. He wanted to just roam around and run around. But stay focused. Now, your plateaus or your plateaus, however you want to pronunciate it or enunciate it. You feel me? They have lied to us about these, right? Now, these are your real ancient tree stumps, right? So now, when we're talking about your mountains, right? What are your mountains? Okay, if these are your real ancient tree stumps, then where are these? You feel me? We're gonna get into it. Okay, so we just broke down the trees, right? Anciently, we had these ancient trees, right? And these are our ancient trees that we had. And it was so many of them, and they don't tell you how many of them it was when it was so many throughout the whole landmass of Atlantis. Now that we understand this landmass, how much land that they have blocked us off from, so now we can break the veil off our minds. Now we can imagine. Now we can just imagine. That's all I want y'all to do is just imagine. Just imagine. You feel me? Just imagine. We had so many trees, y'all, everywhere. Look at that. That's a tree stump. 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 You feel me? Tree stump. 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 You feel me? We had on and on and on. We had so many, and they were everywhere. You feel me? They were everywhere. So on Avatar, this is where they kind of lied to you still, because they try to make you seem like it was only just a couple or a few, right? And or they try to make it seem like these were your ancient trees. They've been cut down, right? Well, we gonna get into what these really are, because some of these are, you know what I'm saying, ancient stumps, right? Because some of these are on different land masses. Because, you know, different land masses, certain trees were different sizes and different, you know what I'm saying, ways and all that. But most of these, majority of these are not mountains or neither tree stumps, right? These are your actual original tree stumps, which they have lied to us in science and never really taught us about, right? Which is your mesoterrane, right? So your mesoterrane, your mesas, are actually tree stumps, right? Your mesas are tree stumps. And there was a lot of them, so many of them, right? All throughout that landmass over there, right? Okay, now, what else? You got your mesas, right? And this was on this landmass. So now if we go to another landmass, what do they call them on another landmass? The plateau, right? Now you got your plateau. You got your, or you feel me? Like I said, however they want to pronounce it. But look, these are also tree stumps as well, just on different landmasses. Tree stump, different landmass. Tree stump, different landmass. You feel me? Tree stump. Look how big that was, y'all. Look how big. Come on, man. Come on, man. Tree stump. Look how big that is, y'all. Come on, man. Look at that. That's where they cut the tree. Boom. Boom. That's the tree stump. Then look how big that tree was. Then there was another tree right next to it. Still huge. Come on, man. Right? These the real tree stumps. Tree stump. Right? They got rid of a lot of tree stumps, but it's a lot of them that they couldn't get rid of. Because it's a lot of us they couldn't get rid of. You see? All these tree stumps, man. Look how big this fucking tree was, man. They cut it. We didn't breathe oxygen. We breathed hydrogen. You feel me? Look at that tree stump, man. A platoon. Right? And this is what they tell us, right? So, actually, let's see what they say a plateau is. You feel me? I want to know. How do you pronounce it? How do they pronounce it?
Plateau.
Plateau. You feel me? See, I knew it was gonna be some different shit from how I was saying. I already knew it. What did they say? Okay, in geology and physical geography, a plateau, also called a high plain or a tableland, is an area of highland. My bad, y'all probably couldn't even just see that. Is an area of highland consisting a flat terrain that is raised sharply above the surroundings area on at least one side. Often one or more sides have deep hills or escarpments. Now look, plateaus can be formed by a number of processes, including upwelling of volcanic magma, extrusion of lava plates, tectonic movements, and erosion by water glaciers and by water and glacier volcanics. You feel me? So we finna break that shit right down. What are volcanoes? That's a good question too. What are volcanoes? Because now we know the plateaus and the mesas are ancient trees that was everywhere, not just in Arizona, not just in Phoenix. Not just in Australia, not just in LA, all throughout the whole landmass of Atlantis. They were everywhere. That's what made it a forest. They were everywhere, right? What are volcanoes? Right? Now that we know what our ancient trees are, okay. So what are volcanoes? Okay, so you got to understand when they came to this realm and they cut your ancient trees down, right? When they came to this realm and they cut your ancient trees down, this is what went on, right? Because they kind of show you this. They kind of show you this in Avatar, right? Like I said, they show you how the Great Invasion went down. Not they don't show you how it actually went down, but they show you what they did, right? As far as in towards our planet. This is why you can walk outside today. Look, let me go back. Fuck that. Nah, fuck that. Let me go back. Hold on. This is why I said Atlantis is not a forest anymore. They cut every tree, nigga. We don't have any more trees. You can't walk outside and see a tree anywhere today on Atlantis, and that shit'll bring tears to my eyes every time I really dwell on that. So we just gonna, you feel me? I just wanted to keep y'all aware of that because this is real with me, y'all. It's real with me. I ain't gonna lie. I cried tears about this information overnight, nigga. Cause look what they done to us. They took everything from us, nigga. On all levels. And then gave themselves medals for it amongst themselves. They awarded themselves for doing this shit. And then made fun of us in our face about it. Meanwhile, we think we comfortable in the house that Uncle Sam built. It's thundering as I'm speaking this shit, y'all. It's thundering as I'm speaking this. It's thundering outside right now as I'm saying this. We're not playing no more on this round. You feel me? We're not playing no more, bro. I ain't gonna lie, look, there's no more trees on this round, y'all. There's no more trees. They done cut every tree. Blew up every crystal tower. We can't even pull up an image of a crystal tower, nigga. We can't even pull up a residue of an old crystal tower because they made sure it was no evidence of those. Fuck leaving the tree stump, nigga. But those crystal towers, oh, we cannot let them see any evidence of those. If anything, we just gonna let them find little pieces of them under the ground. There were still pieces of the original tower that was blown up. That's why you can even find crystals everywhere on his realm. Because the towers was blown up. So if the towers was blown up, what that mean? All the crystals broke into pieces and scattered everywhere amongst the land. That's just, think about it. And if it's crystals everywhere on every fucking part of this fucking earth, what they call earth, nigga, think about how big them crystal towers was when I'm telling you that they blew them up. So these little pieces scattered everywhere. So the little pieces that blew up, nigga, they scattered everywhere over this planet, right? That's just how big they was. Think about that. Now think about how big your trees was that we just showed you. I just showed you stumps that were so big that you probably can't even, you see the stump and probably still can't even fathom how big the tree was in size. But it's not your fault. That's what they have done to you. This is why they have done it. It is no more, Atlantis is not a forest as it used to be. These trees that you see now are 30 millimeter bushes compared to our old size. Feel me? These trees you see now are 30 millimeter bushes, but we gotta still respect them because they still connected to the planet. You feel what I'm saying? So, it is no more trees on this realm. Now, what are volcanoes? What is mountains? They kind of showed just an avatar when they invaded. And what they didn't fully show you was they used machinery to cut those trees. Like I told you, it was so many of them. It's so many of them. It's so many of them. It was so many of them. So they used a lot of machinery, right? And they used a lot of different machinery. They used a lot of different tactics, right? So with our ancient trees, what they did was, with some of the trees was, they was able to completely get rid of some of the trees, right? And then with some of the trees, cause you gotta realize how many trees it was. So they couldn't do the same thing with every tree, right? They would have had overpowered the realm. You feel me? So what they did was, at the time when these portals, you know what I'm saying, was still open, but we just lost a little connection from them, they were using these portals to send our trees. They were pushing our trees through these portals, right? Sending them to other planets. You feel me? Sending them to other planets. And then they were, you know what I'm saying, some of our trees, they chopped down, grinded down, and dropped in the ocean. You feel me? Or dropped in what they call in today's day ocean, that aquatic base. You feel me? Right? And then they had certain machinery where they came through and grinded the tree up as it was cutting it. And as they was cutting it, they was shooting missiles at it to blow it up too. You feel me? Now, what machinery were they using for these big ass trees, right? And how big was this machinery? How are they able to even get this machinery that was that big? They were able to even get to the machinery that was that big because we had already had structures on the planet that they had just taken and reconjuncted, right? And made it something of their usage, which was ended up to be using to cut our trees down and grind them as they cut them and shoot missiles at them as they cut them and grind them at the same time, right? So they'll show you these same machineries that they were using at the time, right? Which would be these, right? It'll be these, right? They look a little different from at that time that it was happening from now, but see, this is the closest we can get to it. Feel me? So they was using machinery like this, but imagine it with, you see how it got wheels on the back though? Imagine it having wheels on the back and wheels on the front, and it's just driving, and as it's driving, it got a saw on it, so it got a saw on the front. So as it's driving, it's just running through it can just run head on into the tree, and it's gonna be cutting it all through. While it's cutting all through, all that is coming through it and falling out the back of it, leaving a pile of residue, right? Which they have showed us in school and told us are mountains. You see? Told us are volcanoes, right? Volcanoes. That's what they told us it was, y'all. Volcanoes and mountains, right? When it's really just the residue of the tree that was cut because of how it was cut. Y'all see that? Yeah, they'll show you, but they ain't gonna show you exactly how it went, but they'll show you. They'll give you a reference. Feel me? Y'all see that? Look how that's forming. What does that create to you? What does that look like to you right there? That pile of grinded wood. Feel me? Look at that. What does that look like to you? Doesn't that look like a volcano? Or doesn't it look like a what they call a mountain? Hold on, y'all. Cause we ain't tripping here. We ain't crazy in this motherfucker. We ain't crazy right here, nigga. Hold on. Yeah. And if the tree was so huge, then you could just imagine how much residue it left. If the tree was so huge, you could just imagine how much residue it left. You could just imagine how much residue it left. If the tree was so huge, can't you just imagine how much residue it left? Hold on, y'all. That's a good one. How much residue did the tree leave? Right? Because of how big it was, it left a lot of residue. They just later on petrified because of their oxygen. This is why they're able to tell you, oh, those are not stumps, those are stones and mountains and rock. Yeah, they rock. I mean, they're not rock, they still wood. They just petrified wood because you have displaced our hydrogen with oxygen. Keep it real to the masses. America with 3 Ks. Keep it real to the masses. Don't lie to these people. Let them know the real reason of what they seeing on their planet. Let them know what they seeing on their planet. Let them know what's going on with their planet. Let them know what y'all have did to their planet. Don't that look like a pile of y'all from a giant ass tree that was cut? You feel me? Hold on, y'all. Cause they get me hype. I don't like, you feel me? Let's look up volcanoes. Where's the volcano? Let's see. Hold on, y'all. Don't that look like a pile of wood to y'all? Don't it like a... Hold on. Man, I'm telling y'all, we not tripping in here, bro. Did that look familiar to y'all? That look familiar to y'all? This is the truth. Fuck what they taught you. This is the truth. Don't that look familiar to y'all? Isn't that matching up just perfectly at that? We ain't even gotta go to no other video, y'all. I mean, we ain't even gotta go to no other picture. We can leave this right here. That look perfect, don't it? That's because that's truth, nigga. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna lie to you because I ain't on here doing this for no reason. Right? We all got an energy cycle. Because I don't move off time. I move off energy cycles. So I got energy cycles, right? And if y'all move off time, then y'all can relate. Because I have stuff to do with my energy cycles just like y'all have stuff to do with y'all time. So I can't just sit around and play around with my energy cycles like that. So I ain't on here just wasting my energy cycles. I ain't on here just wasting my chi, my life force. I'm just on here talking to y'all for hours and hours, right? About this information. Because this is true. I would never get on here and do that. Like, I wouldn't even play with the ancestors like that. I wouldn't even play with I wouldn't even play with the universe like that. I wouldn't even play with this galaxy like that. You feel me? That's misleading y'all. That's what these oppressors are doing, right? That's what I have been sent to untangle, right? I just been sent here to further. I just been sent here to further bring my people back to their original state, right? That's all I was here to do. Like, I was sent here to help my people from within. From within. You see? Now that we know what volcanoes and all that is, now we know what volcanoes and mountains really are, right? And then we know what the real tree stumps are, which is your plateaus and your mesa terrains, which were everywhere, right? Let's see. And And look, this is why it's certain volcanoes, right? This is why it's not volcanoes everywhere, because in certain trees, like I said, they were able to fully chop down to a level. It was certain trees that wasn't as big as certain trees, but all trees was huge. You feel me? So they were able to chop certain trees down to a certain amount and use this wood for other things. This is how they even able to have as much wood as they got to build as much cities and states as they did. You understand this, right? So what happened to wood after it's cut? What do they do after wood? Like, what do they do after the wood when they cut it? After a tree is felled, the wood goes through several stages before it becomes I'm tripping. Before it becomes usable, or is, because I'm looking through the phone, y'all. I'm tripping. Okay, hold on. Hold on, y'all. I gotta stop trying to read through this phone. Okay, hold on. What happens to wood after it's cut? After a tree is felled, the wood goes through several stages before it becomes usable or is disposed of. 1. Initial processing and sorting. The trunk is first limbed, branches removed and bucked into manageable logs or round depending on the intended use. Right? So peep that. Right? The trunk is first limbed and branch removed and bucked into manageable logs or rounds depending on the intentions used. So peep that. Alright? We're gonna read off. So they say smaller branches are often chipped into mulch or taken into green waste facilities. Larger logs are transported to sawmills, transfer stations, or dumps. Now, why sawmills? Because what do sawmills do? We know what sawmills do, right? They deal with energy and electricity, right? How can they deal with energy and electricity? Because our trees originated on a plasma state, right? Hydrogen. So, debarking and swagging. Sawing. I'm tripping. Debarking and sawing. Excuse me, y'all. I'm already high. Debarking and sawing. I said swag. Excuse me, y'all. At a sawmill, logs are debarked, bark removed using mechanical or manual methods. These are then sawed into boards, planks, or other shapes using methods like plane sawing, quarter sawing, or rift sawing. The type of sawing affects grain pattern and product quality, right? So now that we know, now we know this is what they do. This is what they're doing with the wood after it's cut, right? This is what they're doing with the wood after they cut it at its root and it done fell and hit the ground, right? So they take it through an initial process of sorting, right? Of taking its limbs off, taking the leaves off, and all that, and then they take it through a debark and sawing, which means they strip it from its bark. You know what I'm saying? They polish it, do all that, and they cut it. You know what I'm saying? Now we on to the drying and grading. Wood is dried to reduce moisture content, which is essential for stability and durability. Boards are graded based on size, strength. Hold on, can y'all see this? Can y'all see what I'm reading? Oh yeah, I'm tripping. Are based on size, strength, and effects, and defects. And uses. Commercial, I'm gonna see. But yeah, we know. Hold on, cause it's one on here they said that they're not showing. Let's see. Okay, here they go. Reuse and recycling. Some wood is repurposed into pellets, crates, or biomass fuel. And sustainable forestry replanting is part of the cycle to maintain renewable resources. So they're not doing this nowhere out in nature. They're doing this in their labs. In short, after cutting wood, debarked, sawed, dried, and either processed into usable products sold as firewood, chipped for mulch, or disposed of, depending on its quality, species, and market value. All right. So now that we know that they are taking this wood as well, not only are they just leaving this wood where it's at after they've grounded it, they are also taking this wood and using it from its electrical resources, right? And then this is what they are not telling us, that they are also using this wood for, right? Because a lot of us know what biofuel are, or what biofuel is, or a lot of us have been taught about biofuel, you know. A lot of us is familiar with biofuel. A lot of us, you know what I'm saying? A lot of us don't know about biofuel, but for those who don't know about biofuel, for those who don't understand biofuel and what it plays part in, biofuel actually comes from your ancient trees. How? Okay, so first of all, what is biofuel? Renewable energy fuel type. Biofuel is a fuel that's produced over a short time span from a biomass rather than by very slow natural processes involved in the formation of fossil fuels such as oil. Biofuel can be produced from plants in agriculture, domestic. Let's go in here and see. Hold on. Let's go in here and see. Let's go on here and see. Hold on. What was I just said? Domestic or industrial biowaste. Or industrial biowaste. You see, biofuels are mostly used for transportation, but can be used for heating and electricity, right? So biofuels are mostly used for transportation, but can also be used for heating and electricity. Heating and electricity. Biofuel, right? What is biofuel? Hold on. Biofuels emit fewer greenhouse gas emissions, right? So heating, right? We know what heating plays a part in our house, right? That plays a part in this, right? This plays a part in this in our houses. And this plays a part in our cities, our street lights, our phone towers, which I'm gonna explain into that a video about that, right? This plays parts in everything else. This plays parts within this. So they use gas for everything. They use gas for to have us to where our stoves can cut on with fire. You gotta have gas lighters, car gas. It can catch on fire. You know what I'm saying? But they're able to use our ancient trees of its resources and turn it into they're able to use they're able to use our natural tree resources, and they're able to use them in their what is this? Where is it? They're able to use them in their greenhouse gas emissions, right? And I want to show you something too. Cause this how they hurting y'all. Like this how they do it. They cut down your ancient trees and they'll take that wood and they'll use it and create this biofuel and turn this biofuel into biomass, right? Or try to tell you that this biomass, this biofuel produced over a short span of time, right? Right? And they tell you like what? Like okay, so they say biofuel can be produced from transportation, but it can also be used for heating and electricity. Oh wait, no, that's the wrong one. Biofuels can be produced from plants or from agriculture, domestic or industrial biowaste. Now, what is biowaste? Biodegradable waste includes an organic matter and waste which can be broken down into carbon dioxide, water, methane, and composed humus and simple organic molecules by microorganisms, right? And other living things by composing excuse me, excuse my mispronunciation. Excuse my grammar. If it, excuse my grammar out there, family. Like I said, I'm already hot, so y'all gotta bear with me. But yeah, so this is another thing. This is what they're doing. This is how they're able to harm us with this too, because this is how they're putting it back out as a negative effect. You feel me? So they're using biofuel, and this biofuel comes from our trees as well as this biomass, right? And this comes from the ancient trees that was cut down, right, and blew up as they was being cut down, right? And on top of that, And on top of that, look at that tree stump. This is where they cut it. Boom, boom. But on top of that, all those things that they have done to our trees, as far as in like blowing them up, all that residue is still in the land. Cause some of our trees, yeah, they did blow up, some they did cut, some they did saw down. You feel me? But this is the real this is the real science behind this. This was really going on behind this. Okay, so look, they showed y'all this too. So also because they cut down your giant trees. This is why they cut down your giant trees as well. This is why they had to cut the trees, right? Because this is why they had to. Because the trees were to okay. So what they have told us is our sky. What they have told us is our atmosphere, right? That's what. Okay, so we're just gonna say that's what they know it as. Cause right here on this channel, we don't go off. We not politically correct in here, right? So we're gonna lead them. We're gonna lead their title to them. You feel me? We don't want to claim their titles. So when they say when they calling it the skies, right? This is why they had to cut our trees, because in their skies, or in the skies of this realm, right? The skies of this realm was directly designed for us to still be able to see the cosmos in the universe. This is why from your realm, Atlantis, you can go outside at nighttime and see the stars now, because your sky was designed like that, right? And there's not too many planets that have that sky, right? Every planet's sky is different, but this every realm sky is different. But this realm right here, this realm sky is that because we are the Anunnaki gods of this realm, our sky is directly a sky. Our sky is directly a doorway, a whole doorway, directly back to the cosmos, directly back to the galaxies. You feel me? They took that, they stripped you from that as well. They stripped you from that ability as well. How did they do that? Through your ancient trees that they cut down. Because when they cut them down, then they were able to not only put oxygen into your air and asphyxiate you, they were able to then add 5 layers onto your sky, right? So your sky that you see now today's day has 5 layers to it, right? What do I mean the sky has 5 layers to it? The sky has 5 layers to it. This is why some nights you don't even see the stars. It is not even cloud. It could go out. You could go out in the sky. You can go outside at nighttime. The sky will be clear night. But it'll be clear where it ain't no clouds, no stars, nigga. It's just the moon, nigga. And sometimes it might not even be the moon. You can't tell me I'm lying, because I witnessed. You feel me? This is why. This is why sometimes you can walk outside and the whole sky will be gray. You don't see no sun, you don't see no clouds, and the whole sky will just be gray. This is why. This is why you don't see the shooting stars as much. This is why you don't see the sky full of galaxies. Because they have taken this from you by cutting down your ancient trees. Because when they cut down your ancient trees, they were able to place 5 layers onto your sky. What are these 5 layers onto your sky? These 5 layers onto your sky is CGI technology or CIA technology. But we call it CGI technology, right? For those of you who know. Because we calling them out for as what it really is. So any name we call it on here, y'all better know this. That's what it is. You feel me? But this CGI technology is 5 layers to it. It's 5 layers of the CGI technology in your sky in today's day, right? And this is why you have beings who go from galaxy to galaxy, planet to planet, and we can't even see it. This is why you don't even see the other galaxies and other stars, even when the sun is out. That's why. Because you ever ask yourself, like, damn, why do we only see stars at night? Like, why don't we see them in the daytime if they always there? Right? Just think about that. Think about that. All my neuromelanated people, matter of fact, everybody, think about it. Just think about it. Okay, well, if the stars are always there, right? How come we don't see them in the daytime as well? And yeah, of course they're gonna try to come with their little bullshit academy lies and their little organized academy structures, and try to give me a little fucking depiction on the atmosphere and how that works through us orbiting around the sun. I'm like, yo, hey, look, your best bets don't even think about coming at me with no shit like that. You feel me? Because you feel me, we way ahead of that. We see through those lies. We see through those lies. Right? Look in the reds, we see through those lies. Right? We see through those. We back, as a matter of fact. You feel me? So we see through everything. And we're the last generation. So, what does that mean? This ain't game. Ain't game for who? For the grand evil. That's who oppressed this land. You feel me? But they showed you this in King Kong, man. They showed you this in King Kong. They showed you how it's 5 layers to your sky in King Kong. So you gotta see what we're finna pull it up for y'all. For those of you who haven't seen it. Don't even worry, baby. Pull it up for you guys today. We're gonna pull it up for you guys today. Alright. Before I even flip this camera around, I just want to go ahead and say, YouTube. Hold on, let me pause this shit. YouTube. This is not my video, YouTube. This video does not belong to me in no way, shape, or form. I am not taking credit to this video in no way, shape, or form. I am not plagiarism or copywriting or doing none of those matters in no shape or form. This is only for educational purposes only. I'm giving full props to the original creator of this video, with that being the YouTube of Mr. Clips. So shout out to Mr. Clips, as this is Mr. Clips' video. This is not my video. I do not own any copyrights to this video. I do not own any titles to this video. So they showed you in King Kong how you have 5 layers of CGI technology in your skies. Right? Boom. They showed you. You see? And he knew that. How did he know that? How did King Kong know to throw that spear up there? How did he know? What did him to be like, you know what? Break the branch, take the leaves off, look at it. You know what? What happened if what made him do that? He knew, he understood, he seen. He rose. You feel me? He tapped back into his neocortex. You feel me? He remembered who the fuck he was. And when he remembered who he was, nigga, he was like, damn. He realized who he was around. Hold on. I'm King Kong, nigga. Of course he gonna get to thinking like when he remember himself. Of course he gonna get to thinking like, oh, I'm King Kong. Hold on, I'm in his lap. I'm King Kong. Supposed to be seeing half of the world. I'm seeing this every day. I'm King Kong. I am King Kong, nigga. How big King Kong is, nigga? And he's seeing that little bitty piece of forest every day. Every day. He supposed to be waking up, going to that landmass, waking up, going to that landmass. Nigga, he waking up in a stadium, in a simulation. He waking up in a simulation, nigga. And he a whole motherfucking gorilla. You feel me? You see how they show you, but you have to see. You can't look. You gotta see. That's why I'm here to help y'all see, and I just look. You feel me? But they showed you this in King Kong. He tapped into his neocortex and he remembered who the fuck he was. And when he remembered who he was, he seen that, okay, hold on. Something ain't right. Hold on. I'm King Kong, nigga. I can go anywhere I want to, nigga. I ain't gotta be, why am I only just seeing this? I'm King Kong. Why am I waking up in a simulation? Why am I waking up and seeing the same part of the jungle every day? I'm King Kong, nigga. Something ain't right. Let me see something. I must be in, nigga. I would have threw the spirit that motherfucker too, nigga. I would have threw it as hard as he threw it too. I would have put my all into it, nigga. The spirit would have probably fucked around and went through everything fucking with me, nigga. But I ain't gonna lie, I feel them though. Like, hold on. I must be in the game or something. Let me see something. Come on now. Feel me? They showed you this. Alright? They showed you this. King Kong. Alright? This is what they have stripped from you by cutting down your ancient trees. Which is they have stripped many more things from you by doing that shit. But we subjecting this right here. We gotta crawl before we walk. Feel me? I gotta get my people familiar. I gotta take my people back before I take them. Before I lead, I gotta, you feel me? I can't just be leading and not even knowing where I'm going. You know what I'm saying? So I can't be leading people and these people don't even know where I'm going. How I'm gonna lead a crowd and the crowd don't know where I'm going? Or how I'm gonna lead the crowd and the crowd can't even relate to what I'm trying to lead to? You feel me? How I'm gonna lead the crowd and the crowd can't even relate to what I'm trying to lead? Right. How I'm gonna lead something in the crowd don't even have knowledge of what I'm leading. Right. So therefore I must walk my people through these steps, and I must walk my people through the beginnings of this history on their realm Atlantis. Because you all are not human beings. If you have carbon in your skin, and you are neuromelanated, you are not a human being. You are a god or a goddess. So if you are a black woman, you are a goddess. But if we want to talk about supreme cosmic facts, you are a god as well as a goddess. But black woman, you are a god/goddess. Latino woman, you are a supreme goddess. You feel me? Your Latino man, you are gods. You have carbon in your skin. You have neuromelanin. You are not no different from me. We're not different races. We're one. But they have separated us through entitlements and through false history amongst our land. So we look at each other differently. You see me? But you, me, you my family. We together. There is no difference between me and you. You feel me? You're Latino man. You're gods. You're Latina woman. You're a goddess. You're black man. You're gods. You're black woman. You're goddesses. You feel me? And this is just science. This is not being cocky or nothing. This is not trying to stand over anything or nothing. This is just science. This is raw, supreme cosmic facts. This is science. This is true science, right? True science. And human beings, you have nothing to be worried about. You were created by gods. So if anything, if you were created by a God, what does that make you? That makes you the son of gods. You were created by gods. You were created by multiple gods, but you were created by gods under negative intentions. You were created by fallen gods. You weren't created by rightfulness gods. If you were created by rightfulness gods, we wouldn't even be here in this shit today. You were created by fallen gods, which is what led us right here today. We helped y'all, but because y'all were created by a fallen God, y'all can't help but to have a negative intention. You feel me? So, we must not look at the human beings and go Jurassics on them because it's not their fault, right? This is all Zeus making it. This is why we must attack the head of the body and the rest shall fall. You see? Don't mind the dog over there, y'all. I'm trying to take him out as soon as I get off this live. But it's imperative that I get this out to y'all. You feel me? My people first. You feel me? But, yeah. So it's imperative that we must all come together and rise as high vibrational beings. We must all come together and rise as high vibrational beings and stand against this real oppression that's happening amongst this planet. Feel me? Human beings, y'all shouldn't be jealous of us. Because y'all were created by us. Y'all weren't created by us and my people specifically. We stand for righteousness, but I can't take that away from my species. My species is the Anunnaki gods or the Anunnaki gods. That is my race, my species. So I can't take that from no other Anunnaki god. So I must call them by what your species is. You feel me? So yes, you human beings, you were created by other gods. You were created by us. You were created by our species. You were created by a fallen race of our species. Right? But that doesn't make you less of what you are. Love yourself, embrace yourself. We must come together as one. Now we rise.